discuss the concept of valuing in American society the individual right to decide for oneself. And we are taught often to put personal goals and our desires first. In Indian society, we are often taught to put others' needs before ourselves and to sacrifice for the greater good, culturally, for the community. And so this is kind of the debate between the me and the we. And so I'd like to see how these views play out in your daily lives here, and how you see yourself struggling to balance those views. And I'll actually go ahead and just start with Jagdish Dave, if that's okay.
May I request you to start with some younger people first?
Okay, all right.
Because the reason for that, maybe we can learn something from them.
Okay.
Before
Shreya, I'm going to let you go first then, if that's okay.
Perfect. So, when I first read this question, I was honestly a little confused because, of course, especially at the temple, we're raised and taught to do a lot of seva, and we do seva in honestly so many places. But at the temple, definitely has taught me to put others before myself. But just as regular parenting in Hinduism, I was always taught that others are more important than myself, or others' needs need to be put first. But a lot of us see that actually you put your own needs first. So, of course, in American society, you're taught independence and everything, and in Hinduism, you should be taught that as well. But I always generally, in academic perspectives, like especially, put my own needs in front of others, which I honestly am not the most proud of, but it is something that just happens. So I think that in all communities, not just Hinduism, we do happen, or not just American culture, we do happen to put the me in front of the we in certain aspects where we should be putting the we instead of the me.
Somebody want to pick up on that?
Can I go ahead with this
Yes.
now? Shreya, you did a very good point to begin with. I think Indian society also, way back when we were growing up, we was not there as much as we are witnessing it now. I think there was always a me first, not in the real sense, but whenever there is something about reaching a goal or getting something done, that's when the me comes first. But as far as getting something done, united, something very big, which you alone cannot do, that's where I think we have to be all united. And just like Modi ji says, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. So in that respect, I think we should do together many other things which are challenging to one person. When we unite into maybe 3, 4, 5 people in a group, then we can accelerate into that, into something very, very big. So with that in mind, I think it's a synthesis of both Hindu culture and culture of the West, where we do really getting away from our real Hindu culture, but at the same time, we are also trying to keep our roots the way what we are taught. And with those roots are coming back when we are coming from India, or when the kids are growing up in this country under the umbrella of temple as well as Bhagakulam. We can see some of the bright kids here, what they are doing and how they are accelerating in their life. As far as keeping me first, of course, on a personal goal, that's good. But united, I think we should have some community goal also. And I think I'm really glad to speak about that with you.
Can I have a youth?
I believe that we should put the we over the me, but to an extent where it's not detrimental to our goals. By putting the we over the me, we build a sense of community, and when we can't put ourselves first, then someone else can. So I've seen people bring food over to our house when my parents are sick or busy. Things like that. When we are not able to do certain things, you have the community built around you by doing these little things that put we over me, but making sure that you're also working towards your own goals.
Madhuji, can I ask you to comment on that?
Yeah, definitely me is it's not enough, but But here we're taught that way, like we should take care of ourselves first, you know. Like even in the flight, they say they put a mask on first, then the kid, you know. That makes you strong. I mean, that you can face the world, you can face things, you know, you're strong enough to handle things, you know. But again, you cannot achieve everything by saying me, because we is the one, like if you want to achieve any goal, achieve anything in life, you need we. Like even like building the temple, you know, you cannot build by yourself. You need everybody supporting that. So we is very important that way. But again, you have to make sure you meet your goal, so you have interest in that, so you can make yourself strong enough that you can face different things in life, you know, different, you're strong enough to face like any up and downs in life, you know.
Yeah, I agree with Madhu Aunty because I myself am more interdependent than I am independent. And an example of that is, I'm more interdependent when I'm with my family. So my grandmother last summer came to visit us. And so basically, we lived in a small apartment, so we had a room for my mom and dad, and one was mine and one was my dad's office room. So I decided to share my room, and it turned out that me and my grandma really got to bond, and we had a fun experience.
So I'm going to take off on that a little bit, what you said, because I think, you know, the interdependency that is required in families, obviously we do depend on each other, we do need each other, but what about when there's conflict in families, right? You're planning vacations, you want to go do something, or you want to do something different than what the family wants to do. How does that work out? How do you see that playing out? So HT, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
All right. On the goals aspect, we have personal goals and we have community or goals as a country. Now, when it comes to planning, trips in the family, or when we have occasions going in the family, the larger good. What I grew up learning, was the larger good, the good of the entire. If I'm going to meet my cousins, maybe, and my grandparents are going to be there. They're going to ask my parents, where are the kids? Where the kids go? So we have to take the larger goal into consideration. I generally take the larger goal into consideration. There were times my parents would tell that, yes, you have to be there. You have no choice out of this. So those situations do arise. But growing up, as a Hindu, in all our prayers, whatever we say, it's about the whole. Everybody as a whole. Just to say a simple prayer is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashchitu Bhavat Bhavet. It's may everybody be happy. And the Rishis have always expanded is Vasudeva Kutumbakam, let the whole world be one family. So these are the thoughts that were put in us, and that's how I grew up. And I always succumb to the goal of the family instead of putting my needs first.
Ashik, I'm going to pick on you now.
I'm thinking like two ways. So more in like a socially aspect in school, and so in the social aspect in school, you're always talking to other people because you're either interacting just like at lunch, or you're talking about like a project that you're having with other people, or you're just working independently. And so I feel like in a group project, let's just say other people aren't like on task and things like that, and you're graded on like group work and your total work, and so like if they don't do a good job, you'll also get a poor grade as well. And so you're also forced to, like, if they don't do it, you're forced to do more work than you're supposed to do. And so that's where, like, we come in and, like, help others, but not in, like, a way that sometimes we want to. But then also, like, when we're talking to other people, we also want to think about what they're going to think of us in a way, and so that they don't like us or like what they'll think of us later.
So it's great, right? Because we are all involved in group projects. We're all involved in working together. And I know Suvarna has had that experience many times of working with the group and the me and the we. And I wonder what you think about that in the ways that you've experienced that.
So my faith taught me two things. One is that we are part of a universe, which means we are by definition interdependent, not just on other people, but everything. The entire planet is interconnected, so whether it's plants, animals, all kinds of lives are interconnected. But my faith also taught me that only I, me and myself is responsible for my own happiness, for my own success and failure, and I had no right to blame anybody for it. So which means fundamentally it's a balance between we and I, or me, and to me these concepts are not opposites, they're intertwined concepts, and it's always going to be a balancing act. And so personally, I have always faced this. So when I was in college, it was all about me. Trust me, my mom yelled at me, and it was all about me, but I was studying that time. When I got married, I had a child. It was, the pendulum swung all the way to the other end, and it was all about we. Now, in that process, what happened was I paid no attention to my own health, and then I felt sick. And I wasn't able to deal with, my work, my child, my husband, the whole home front, and then I consciously swung the pendulum towards me to take care of my health. And so personally I think it's all about the situation, what the goal is, and what are you trying to achieve. So right now with my daughter in college and independent, my goal is spiritual goal, and so I got that focus back on me because nobody is going to make that spiritual progress on my behalf. It's my personal responsibility. So as long as, what my parents taught me is, as long as you achieve success and happiness not at the cost of somebody else, then you are a winner. Then it's a win-win situation. But if you achieve success at the cost of somebody else because you want power, then that's kind of not a win-win situation. So that's how I have lived my life. I think it's right, I don't know, but I hope it's right.
We may touch on some of those subjects too, but I want to give Shivam a chance to give me his input on how he feels about sort of how this discussion is progressing.
So with the interdependency and independency, our faith has, and it's continuing to teach me that it brings us together, but also gives us a sense of individuality. And it makes us feel like we are a part of it while still making us feel. And I believe that there's always a compromise and a balance with everything. So going back to that conflict of a family, there's always a way to make everyone have a good time and everyone have fun. And with group projects, as I said, you are helping other people progress, but you yourself are also trying to get the best grade that you can.
I think that's great. I think that helps us to kind of set the tone for some of our concepts in Hinduism, our culture, our growing up here, and kind of brings us into the next